Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda and I'm here with my brother Eric.
How's it going, everybody? We are here with Friends, season 7, as we're going to talk about episode 5, the one with the engagement picture, and episode 6, the one with the nap partners. Today, we're kind of making our way into kind of the middle here now of season 7, if you will. And I'll tell you what, we're coming off some episodes that weren't very great. They weren't very good. Like, we got 2 sub-8 IMDb rated episodes last week. That was not ideal.
Sure. Yeah, they weren't our favorites. Season 7, although I liked them a little bit more than you did, if I'm recalling.
You did.
Oh, yeah.
You gave them an 8.3 and an 8.1, and I gave them an 8 and a 7.9, and the people gave them a 7.9 and 7.9. And in all honesty, that's still low from us. Like, even an 8.3 as the best episode of the day is low.
Right.
Usually we are. I mean, you and I are averaging in the 8.4s at least.
Right.
So, yeah, I'd say that is below average for sure.
Well, and they were kind of, I remember, it's like they were very almost side stories that were presented as the main plot lines. So I think that was part of it, is we were struggling to kind of find that like clear run through that was the main storyline to attach all of our conversations around. And so they just didn't stand out in the same way as others. But in the grand scheme of things, like, anything above an 8 out of 10 is a good score. So it's it's funny. It's like our friends' ratings are so high that it's like anything like in the low 8s is like, oh my God, what happened?
Well, that's the anytime I see something get lower than 8, and when IMDb put them both up as 7.9s, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's just something missing here. Like, they weren't. Right. And you know what? The one with Rachel's assistant, that one really bothered me because it was the one where Joey felt like he should just have an audition, and Rachel was just pushing Joey, tag around, and it's like, if you didn't have the third storyline to that, it became very entitled, and like, I'm not really feeling either of those characters at that point. But I'll tell you what,
we just didn't like them as much. That's a good point. It's like we just didn't like who these people were and standalone in those episodes as much. And so without the full context, it's sort of like not as favorable for these friends here. But I think we're starting to make our way back a little bit.
Yes.
But
yes.
just as a reminder of where we left things off last week, we had Monica trying to reverse engineer Phoebe's grandma's cookie recipe. We also had Rachel trying to teach Joey to sail. I did like that part.
That one wasn't bad. I don't hate that.
And then we had Chandler spending quality time with Jack Geller at the gym. Also a funny side moment.
Yeah.
That was some
it's hard to say that that's quality time, but it was time spent.
Then we had Joey getting rehired on Days of Our Lives, which we don't really talk about in these episodes. I found interesting. It didn't really come up again, but we'll talk about that more. And then Rachel also was trying to hire a new assistant, and then she did the one that she had the crush on is who she chose, Tag. And also Chandler was telling Monica Ross's secret Space Mountain story. So that was all in those last
episodes. Was the best part of all of those episodes. The secret telling.
And if you haven't listened to it, please go back, listen to that episode, let us know what you think. But yeah, so today, Eric, we're kicking it off with episode 5, the one with the engagement picture, right?
Yes, and in this one, we have 3 separate storylines. We have, first of all, Chandler and Monica going to get their engagement picture for the paper, which I found very interesting. We also have Ross and Phoebe each dating a different member of a soon-to-be divorced couple. And we have Joey and Rachel dealing with Tag and how Rachel would like Joey to take Tag out so that she doesn't have to deal with her crush anymore. So which one of these do you want to start with first?
Well, Eric, I have to say, the one that sticks out to me the most is this whole Phoebe Ross hanging out with the married couple scenario. I just crack up so much at this storyline. I love it. It's really random and it's very awkward, but I love the moments with just Phoebe and Ross that focus on the two of them. They're so funny together. And I know we've talked about how it doesn't happen as much as other pairings. So
it really doesn't. Like, we mention it every time it happens, so it feels like it happens a lot. But how many episodes do we go through where it doesn't happen at all? I agree. This is the best part of this episode. And so for a quick rundown, Phoebe is dating this guy, Kyle, who's going through a divorce, and she needs a distraction. So she asks Ross to distract Whitney so she and Kyle can get out of Central Perk. Ross ends up hitting it off with Whitney. And then we have this amazing argument between Ross and Phoebe on the couch where they each take on the traits of their new dating partners. And then in the end, they get broken up with together by Whitney and Kyle. Just say it, Kyle.
We want the last 6 years back.
Yes, we want the last 6 years back. I just have to say the best part of this whole episode is where they're sitting on the couch and they're arguing with each other over the issues that their new partners have with each other.
Yes.
These are not issues with Ross and Phoebe. They're not even acting like Ross and Phoebe. They're acting like the other people, which I have to say, the one thing I found incredibly amazing is how did both Ross and Phoebe learn all of the exact same stories from their respective person? They learned them all, like the exact stories, so that when they have this argument on the couch, they are they both are in the know on both sides of these arguments. It's crazy.
Yeah, that says a lot about where this couple is at. Clearly, they are not past these things, and that Ross and Phoebe are really kind of standing in more as their therapists than as significant others.
Oh my gosh.
Like, guys, if you're in a relationship with people and they are doing this, please, you need to leave. This is not someone who's ready.
These are big red flags. Big red flags here.
Massive red flag. It's so funny though. And we have Ross saying, because they're both sitting there talking about, as you said, it's almost like they're taking on the personalities of Kyle and Whitney. And yeah, I love Ross's line, well, excuse her for knowing what she wanted to do with her life. Phoebe's saying, yeah, well, she certainly knew New Year's Eve 1997. I knew you were going to throw that in my face. That was 3 years ago. She apologized and apologized. What more do you want? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I loved it. And then it's what more do you want? And Phoebe's like, we want the last 6 years back. And Ross, so do we. So do we.
So funny. It's like, yeah, they just get so passionate about this and like them taking on, because it's way funnier us seeing this argument through Ross and Phoebe than us attempting to see it through these people that we don't know or care about, and it's like, that's not going to be funny. And also I feel like this is obviously a very heightened example of something that people can relate to, where you maybe are trying to date someone and they are clearly not ready. They are way more still in their past relationship, or they haven't quite moved on yet. I mean, hopefully you haven't experienced it to this degree, but maybe you have. I mean, I think it's fairly common that someone tries to start a new relationship, but they're still very much attached to their old one.
This feels like an exaggerated retelling of something that happens regularly, where people kind of start dating someone and they are constantly talking about their exes, and it's just one of those things. But this is kind of a more exaggerated, hilarious version of that.
Oh,
but we also have a scene in here, too, where we have a door issue, right? Where Phoebe is at Ross's apartment, and she's blown away because Whitney comes to the door, and he's like, oh, yeah, we hit it off. We actually had a great time. And so she's coming over, and we were going to go out again. And Phoebe's yelling at she uses sex as a weapon, and she yells something.
The room painting, because she's saying that she picked out a color without consulting him, and so Ross is like, well, thanks for warning me. At breakfast, I'll be on full alert for room painting and sex weapons.
There you go.
Listen to me, she is crazy.
That's what it is.
Whitney is on the other side of the door. She's like, your door isn't soundproof.
That's not great. That's not great.
And this kind of reminded me of that the scene when Monica was screaming and Joey could hear her through the other side with the girl that he was trying to date, his old roommate.
Janine.
And Janine, yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but this was
She's
pretty
so
bad.
loud for such a little person.
Yeah.
We get the breakup scene too. We get this breakup scene too, where Kyle and Whitney show up together at Central Perk and decide that they're going to break up with Ross and Phoebe together. And they're kind of slowly, this is the best thing here is they're kind of easing into it a little bit, trying to figure out how to not make this awkward. And Ross is just just say it, Kyle. What do you want here? And they're we're going to give it another try. And they both then start throwing arguments from the other person. They're like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'll get over it. It's
yes. It just is another example of how seeing Ross get outraged is the funniest moment of an episode. It's just why is he so passionate about this? But him just yelling out, just say it, Kyle, is so funny. If you haven't seen it recently, just go back and watch this episode for that. It's a great Ross moment. And there was the portion early on in this storyline where they're at the coffee shop talking about how the guys call Kyle hums while he pees.
Oh yes.
And the girls call him cute coffee shop guy, and Phoebe's like, he's getting a divorce, Ross. Maybe you know him.
Oh, right.
It's not a club. Yeah.
Maybe I should start a divorced men's club.
Yes. The sad men's club.
Divorced. No. Divorced men's club. It's not sad men's club. Not all divorced men are bad men. No.
Oh, Eric, I did also realize that the guy, I'm sitting there looking at Kyle and this guy looks so familiar, and I had to look it up and not remembering the actor's name off the top of my head, but he is the guy who plays Rory's dad, Lorelai's ex on Gilmore Girls.
Oh.
And
okay. I have not seen Gilmore Girls. I don't know it well. My wife has seen the whole thing cover to cover.
I was going to say, Tina's had to have seen it.
Absolutely, she has.
Yeah.
But she didn't watch it while it was on.
Neither did
I. Maybe she did, but I know that I saw her watching this streaming on Netflix or whatever it was on. Maybe years ago.
It's flagged on Netflix as being one of the most rewatched shows on Netflix. Melissa McCarthy got her start there. It's a great show.
Well, there you go.
But
I'll have to check it out, I suppose.
Yeah,
at some point.
because he doesn't play, he's not a prominent character in that show. So I'm wait a second, that guy, but yeah, he also kind of has that average, I don't know. He's obviously a very attractive guy, but he doesn't have features that to me pop out. I'm also the person that I don't recognize. We've talked about this. I think it was in our Stranger Things podcast where we both have issues sometimes recognizing people's faces, but
I see people all the time and I go, I know you. And then I have no idea where I know them from. And I realize, they were in whatever show. It's usually connected to one of those USA shows that I watched for a while, like the Psych or White Collar or How I Met Your Mother, which is not USA, but still, like those shows had a lot of guest stars on them, and they probably popped up for an episode or two there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm remembering now. It was our conversation about Stranger Things. The guy who plays Enzo in season 4, if you haven't seen it, or listen to that podcast of ours, we'd love it if you joined us there as well. But the guy who plays Enzo was also on Game of Thrones as one of the, now I'm forgetting what his, but he was the guy with no name, like he was sort of the one who trained Arya. And
I will say there was a stretch where I thought he was the guy in Friends that was opposite Joey, like before the wedding.
And I could see why you thought that. Yeah, with the really drunk guy. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right, but no, it's not him. And yeah, we had this whole funny.
We've already had this discussion. Go find it on Stranger Things.
But I don't know. My husband is way better at recognizing faces. Like no matter which character he's playing, he'll just pick it out. And I'm like, I don't. It'll go over.
Tina knows it immediately too. This is a family trait. Apparently, we're not very good at this. We're good at knowing. Yes. Hey, you're somebody. Right. Hold on.
You're somebody. You are somebody. Who you are. I'm going to have to look that up. Thank God for all the channels that we have to use to look things up nowadays.
IMDb is my best friend. Okay, so let's talk about the Rachel side of this story here, where she is trying to keep Tag out of basically contact with all future suitors, as one does show up from the office that she threatens to tell her supervisor about. She also essentially sends him out with Joey, who's come to borrow some shirts, I guess. And essentially Tag ends up becoming like Joey's number one wingman. So Rachel confronts Joey with this at the apartment, ends up bribing Joey into allowing him or convincing him to tell Tag not to do these things. And then we end up with a very awkward moment from Rachel at the end of this. So where do you want to dive in?
There are awkward moments from Rachel throughout all of this episode. There are some very, very cringy moments.
I don't love Rachel in this setting. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm going to try and put my finger on it as the next few episodes roll out. But like, there's something about her in this like power position over Tag, trying to like date him but not date him and then keep people away from it's just very weird.
And I know we weren't fans of like the episodes where she was chasing Joshua, I'm sorry.
No, I am seasons. Not a fan of that.
So it kind of has that same feel about it. I feel like they have to try to make things funny for Rachel by seeing her in these roles where she is chasing a man, because in reality, like we also hear like always woven throughout these episodes that Rachel never gets rejected, and then she's really never had to ask anyone out because guys just like find their way to her. She doesn't really have to,
and to be
try
fair,
work for it. So it's like, so seeing her in these almost like awkward, tense moments, that's gonna be funnier, I guess. I think
to be fair, neither Joshua nor Tag really have rejected Rachel. She's just trying to like pursue them extra, and like she should probably just say like, hey, do you want to go on a date?
Well, right, that's a really good point, Eric, because with Joshua especially, if she had just like asked him out and been way more casual about it, things might have worked out. Like, I don't know. But we also learn, I was looking this up, and I know you and I kind of talked off camera about it a little bit already, but I was remembering when I was kind of just digging into this a bit that Rachel actually, Jennifer Aniston dated the guy and was supposedly engaged to the actor who played Joshua. Like, they were very serious, and things got broken off between them right before they started to shoot. And it's like, wow. So I guess that actually lended itself to the plot line. It was gonna be originally a lot longer, and they were going to have Rachel and Joshua get together alongside maybe Ross and Emily, and it was going to be more of like their relationships were going to be running more parallel for longer. And then they shifted because it's like, yeah, we can't have this guy on the set. And I'm sort of glad that they did, but this is also just how we know friends.
So I was going to say, it's hard to look back and want to change the story in my eyes. But if you have the two stories running parallel, then you kind of don't get Rachel running in to like stop the wedding, like, because she's running her own relationship at that point and happy about it, hopefully, question mark. I mean, or maybe like, I feel like that was such a big moment, like when the whole thing with Joshua,
to imagine. Yes,
when the whole thing with Joshua crashed and burned, and then it was like, oh, I still have feelings for Ross. And they're like, yeah, we all know this. Like,
yeah.
How did this
how would
not
they have
happen?
played
You
that
also
out?
had
Right.
like all the like wedding invitations go out, and like, should we invite Rachel or shouldn't we? And all of that. Those were such big moments, I feel like, that led to the biggest season finale potentially in the show. So,
which also, Eric, that was a blooper. Ross saying, so what I also learned is that Ross sang Rachel at the altar. So it was a blooper from an earlier episode where Ross said Rachel's name instead of Emily's name.
Oh, like in another scene.
Yes. And the writers were like, oh my God, that was hilarious. We need to work that in to the show.
I can totally see that. I can absolutely buy that. Like that, like if he slips up and then they're like, oh, that's the way we do this. Like, I think I buy that. I absolutely feel like the writing for these shows is done, as we've seen. We have seen like behind the scenes on Friends where they are rewriting as it goes. Sometimes they do a scene, the audience doesn't react the way they wanted, and they would rewrite the joke on the spot. Now, they don't change the story, but they rewrite the joke. So, I don't know where that was missaid, but then making the story all about Ross saying the wrong name is awesome. Like, that was a good call.
Yeah, he was like trying to... Is it what he was trying? No, because that came later on. Either way, I'd have to look that up. But it was just funny and cool to think about how the writers and the character, and the actors are so just involved and they're willing to pivot, for lack of a better word. And
there you go.
and just just kind of run with the story on the fly. Just thought that was great.
Well, what about this tag situation?
Oh, Eric, so this tag situation, Rachel is out of control here. Like, she comes back to the coffee shop saying that she just needs to go back from lunch early so that she can watch Tag doing sit-ups. And then when she gets back to the office,
that's so bad.
She's like, drop it, give me 20.
Because he's done. He's already done them. And she's like, oh, well, give me a few more. Like, oh, no, Rachel, come on.
She's like, oh, sorry, I had a few drinks at lunch. I'm like, oh,
that doesn't help either.
Rachel, this is not good. Yeah, this is not good.
You're just digging yourself deeper.
Oh, but the moment that, I could hardly watch this moment. I have to look away when Rachel is pulling Tag's sweatshirt like out of his bag, and her colleague walks in from around the corner and she's smelling his shirt.
Ugh.
I'm like, and she's like, she pretends it's her backpack at first. And she's like, isn't that Tag's bag?
Yeah, and this is when Rachel says, like, well, I don't want to have to tell your supervisor. Like, about what? About what, Rachel? What are you going to tell the supervisor?
She threatens to then get her fired.
Like,
wow.
But all she's done is walk into this room. You're the one who's going to get in trouble here. So,
and she tells Rachel she wants to ask Tag out too.
Yes.
So that's where Rachel's like, oh my God, I need to like get him out of the office, and that's where she devises this plan. And I'm like, Rachel, like, first she's trying to tell everyone that Tag is gay, and then she's trying to just like get him out of like
Oh man.
like, this is only going to work for one day. Like, this woman is going to just come back around and ask him out again. Like, she's gonna not.
And so she tries to set Joey up as like hey, Joey, take him out, go see a sporting event, do something. And Joey takes him to a bar. And of course, this is where Joey and Tag just rack up numbers. Just tons of phone numbers from all these girls that are at the bar. And Tag comes back into the office the next day after being out with Joey, and Rachel is asking him how it was. He's like, oh my God, I got like 20 phone numbers. Like I've never gone up to girls before. Then this one girl walks in and he just goes, how you doing?
Oh no.
Rachel's like, oh my God, what have I done?
Well, what did you think was going to happen, Rachel?
What are you talking about here? Set him up with Ross. Don't set him up with Joey.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I did like the moment where Joey comes to the office and he grabs a donut, because the whole reason he's even there is to just get a shirt, because he spilled pizza sauce on his other shirt and he wanted a new shirt, although he didn't want a Ralph Lauren shirt. It was a very Joey stupidity moment there, because then he proceeded, as he puts on a shirt, to eat a jelly donut, and the jelly gets all over his shirt and on his shoe, apparently.
Yeah. But, well, I will say my favorite part of this whole storyline is none of what we've talked about so far. Like, this whole Rachel at the office is awful.
Okay.
But then we get to Rachel back at the apartment confronting Joey about this with Chandler in the background. And
oh God.
Rachel and Joey are kind of having it out, and they're doing this at Chandler's expense, because Joey is saying things like, hey, you can't take him away from me. I've never had a wingman this good before. I tried to do it with Chandler. He's no good. And he's like, I'm right here.
Right here. Yeah.
There's also this moment where, listen, I'm going to get over the crushes. I always get over him. Like, I had a crush on you when I first met you. And Joey's like, yeah, I know. And
Monica told me.
Chandler is then of the mind, like, did you have a crush on me? And she's like, yeah, sure. And then comes back and shakes her head, no. And Joey shakes his head back, no.
Yes.
And Chandler's like, am I invisible, or can you not see me? Like, unbelievable.
Yes,
I love it. It is the best part of this storyline.
Yes, it goes along like with the same theme when Chandler gets his glasses and he's like, does anybody know me? I feel like we just have a lot of moments like that with Chandler, where it's like, poor Chandler. It's like they're just having this conversation right in front of him. And the way that Rachel shakes her head no, I'm like wow, that is so harsh. Poor Chandler. Yeah.
Yeah, I find it amazing, too, because Chandler is marrying Monica, and both Rachel and Phoebe consistently make jokes about how he's no good.
And Chandler is so much more of a catch than, like, either Ross or Joey. So I'm like, he is the obvious, like, I mean, he has a lot of just other stuff going on, but my goodness, I just feel like overall Chandler is the guy, and it's just funny.
Stable job. Reasonable, he's all right.
Really funny, sweet. Like, he's, I guess he is a little bit more emotionally unavailable, but I don't know. Ross and Joey aren't really beating him out there either. I think he just has to be with the right person, and that is Monica. So it's all working out here, but I do feel like Rachel and Phoebe come down on him pretty hard.
So what do you make of this ending scene here with Rachel and Tag, where Tag then comes back after this, because after this discussion at the apartment, she's convinced Joey that she's going to give him a whole bunch of Ralph Lauren shirts, and he's going to convince Tag, okay, well, you're not going to date a lot of people. Like, that's a bad idea. Not for you. There's too many women out there. There's such a thing as too many women. For you. Not for me.
Mm-hmm. For you. Yeah.
And so Tag comes back. He essentially is saying, hey, I think I'm just going to stick with one person. I like it better when I've got like one girlfriend that I can spoil and all this. And so I think
spoil.
Spoil. Yep. Think I know what I have to do. I'm going to ask my ex-girlfriend back out again. And Rachel's like, I'd love to.
Oh, God.
And he's like, what? And she just grabs the phone. Hello?
Oh, my God.
This is going to take a while, Tag. Just get back out into your cubicle. How awkward is that?
Oh, my gosh. So awkward. Jennifer Aniston does that so seamlessly, too. It's really, really funny. Wow. Yeah. Just cannot even. It was so clear. I mean, it's almost one of those things like that same level of obviousness as when Monica walks back into the apartment and they're like, oh my God, let me see your hand. And it's like, and she tries to roll it back, but it's this is that same. It's like, okay, if you're paying attention at all, Tag, you would have kind of picked up on what was happening here. But I don't know. But maybe Tag isn't so bright and it went over his head or, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, there's probably some truth to that. But this scene I found way more funny and way more believable than the stuff with her kind of pushing Tag around to do things. Like it's that. I don't know. It's something about that. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, well, this was funny because it was Rachel just acting embarrassed. I think it was different than her just trying to throw herself on him because again, it's in that position of power. It's just weird. But Eric, we also have the engagement photo plotline of this story, which is the title of this episode. But it is.
It is the title of the episode.
Yeah.
It is what I always think of as like the main storyline here, but it's very much not the main storyline here. It is the one with the least amount of scenes and moments where, Monica is trying to get an engagement picture together to give to the local paper to announce their wedding. And they decide to go see a photographer, like a professional photographer, who is then... where it's then becoming a realistic opportunity here for Chandler to showcase that he doesn't know how to smile for a picture. And he gets some antihistamines from Joey, tries to take some like acting coaching from Joey. None of it works. And when it's all said and done, we get a picture in the paper that looks amazing of Monica and Joey together instead of Chandler.
Oh my God.
Man, that picture, we look real good together.
They do.
They do. What part of this do you want to jump onto?
Well, okay, hold on. There is one moment before we even get into this, before they talk about the pictures. Chandler, in the opening moment of this episode, comes into the apartment and is saying, someone on the subway licked my neck.
Oh, that's true.
Phoebe's like, oh, Willie's still alive.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. My God. It was just this really funny random moment. I had to mention it. Wrote that down. I'm like, Willie, who the hell? Like,
well, they referenced it again with Phoebe and Kyle then later. And Kyle was like, I'm really sorry about that. And she's like, oh, no, he's a friend. So.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. But Phoebe is right. She's the one who was suggested that Chandler and Monica get their professional photos done because they didn't have like any normal pictures. Apparently Chandler just doesn't take good photos, which I know it's like his smile to me. I've written down, he looks like he's sitting on nails. Like he is so bad at this. It is beyond comprehension. I don't know. His smile is there's
no question to me that there's one person that I think of when it comes to this storyline. And that person I know is listening to this podcast, and it is our mom.
Oh, no.
She has
not
such
as bad as Chandler, but
well, Chandler is looking ridiculous. But the idea that there are people in the world that have this issue, that when the camera is pointed at them, I can see the wheels turning in my mom's head. And she's like, have they taken the picture yet? Have they taken the picture yet? And there's so much focus on, are we taking the picture yet? That the picture looks weird every time. Now, you can catch her when she's not paying attention, and the picture looks amazing.
Yes.
And I imagine that might be the case for Chandler, too. It's the opposite of Barney Stinson.
Oh my God. Yes, Barney Stinson never takes a bad photo.
Catch him mid-sneeze. Doesn't matter. He takes a great picture.
That's right. Yeah, I do like Monica's line. This is an engagement photo, not local woman saves drowning man. Oh no, sorry.
Drowning moron.
Messed it up. Yes, not local woman saves drowning moron. Then later she's like, this is my drowning moron.
Yeah, because the photographer laughs at that, which it is funny. And she's like, hey, you can't laugh at that. Don't laugh at him.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the forced smile and the like, is it happening? And so Joey's trying to get him to like, hey, just look down, and then look up. Bang. Perfect smile. And
but then he
because I think the idea is it's the camera, so you're looking down, you're not looking at the camera, then you look up and you haven't had the camera there for long enough to react to it.
Yeah.
But of course, he does this with all these antihistamines. He falls asleep while looking down. Monica has to wake him up, and then he looks up and just goes super forced smile, which is something my son does.
Far. Yeah.
Brooklyn is far. There you go.
Because I guess he missed the train stop because he was on all these antihistamines to try to relax him, but it relaxed him a little bit too much. We did have this moment, Eric, that was just notable for me in this episode and sort of reminded me of where we're at in just the history of Friends. There was this transition shot where you saw the Twin Towers very clearly in the background. And I know that they do pop up several times in the series, but I'm like, hey, I know that season 7, what year this is, because this season ran from October 2000.
It goes
to May
into 2001. Yeah. So we are not far from that. They've shown the Twin Towers a number of times at this point, but we are getting close to the last cut scene with the Twin Towers, because they won't show them after September 11th.
Well, that would have been, if they had shots of them in transitions, they definitely removed them after that point. But, I know we've kind of mentioned this off camera too. It's like they don't really address 9/11 on this show at all, which, I mean, it's a comedy. It's a sitcom. I get it. It might have been, but part of me feels like, could they have mentioned it somehow? I don't know, talked about just New York City as a whole. Maybe it was just too much, too heavy. I don't know. They didn't touch it at all.
I'm sure there are people that feel like they should have done it because it's set in New York.
It's like,
I will say it does not change one lick of anything for me. And I remember watching SportsCenter all the time as a college student back in 2001. And, you would turn it on, and for the longest time, they would still be covering all September 11th on ESPN, which was kind of crazy. But then after maybe a few days, they got into, well, listen, you guys are coming here to get away. If you're turning on this channel, you're turning us on because you want to see some sports news and you want to have a break from all of the news about September 11th. So we're going to do our best to still provide that for you. There are plenty of other outlets if you're looking for the information about September 11th and the Twin Towers and what's going on with that. There are many news outlets that will cover that. We're going to move on and do what we do. And I think on some level, Friends did that. They chose, hey, listen, if you're turning on Friends, you don't need to have the emotional gut punch. Right? It's not really that sort of show.
Or even the reality. This is a fictional reality within a real location, right? It's even though it's New York, obviously,
they could have referenced it, but all it does is make it there is not a single episode of Friends that I would consider a sad episode. You know what I mean? But there are a number of other shows that do sad episodes, or they do like, they make you feel a certain way because of sad events.
Although the Ross and Rachel breakup episodes were pretty sad.
No,
I mean,
no, that's not the
funny
same.
moments, but
that's
there were
still...
really heartbreaking scenes where it's like, oh my gosh, like when Ross had, cheated on Rachel. I'm just gonna say it. All right, cheated.
You say whatever you want to say in this instance. I'm just gonna let it slide.
Well, listen, when they then finally, when she would not take him back, I'll say that, it's like she would not take him back. That was a pretty sad scene. I mean, there were obviously funny moments within it. It wasn't just sad. Like, they didn't focus in on that being the primary. I don't know. That was the primary emotion, though, of that episode.
Okay.
I would say.
But
yeah,
there are episodes of dramas that
right.
are only sad things, right?
Yeah, sure.
I would argue that, so we always compare to How I Met Your Mother, right? There is an episode where Marshall's father passes away. That is an incredibly sad episode, right? There are episodes that are sad. They are meant to be that way. Ross and Rachel breaking up is not that.
No, but even in that episode with Marshall's dad, there's funny moments that lead up to it. It's not,
of course there are.
It's not just about that. So I mean, that I feel like that's still a similar in that way, where it's like there was that sad moment, but that was actually that's how that episode ended.
Yeah.
All leading up to that, you didn't know that's the direction we were going.
No, you didn't. No, you still didn't. So, but I would still say that ended in a situation that was like a very disappointing thing. I mean, the Ross and Rachel breakup, yeah. But still, it's not the same level, and it's certainly not the same level as tying in a real world terrorist attack. Like,
okay, well, right.
I mean, these
going
are
back to where we started on this. Yeah,
right.
That is a different level of.
It's a whole, because as soon as you do that, the entire episode is now about that.
It's because that wouldn't be about them at all. And this whole story, this whole show is just about these people and their lives in a vacuum almost. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, yeah, this is outside of them. One of them would have had to have been like a firefighter to bring in, or a police officer, you know what I mean, to tie that in more organically. Because otherwise, yeah, maybe that it would just be.
You would have to
I'm
reference
sure they considered it, and I would love to.
I'm sure they did.
To think about.
I'm sure they did consider it. I feel like it would have been a mistake not to think about it, but I still think when it's all said and done, the idea to not touch on it is totally fine. And I think it just doesn't mesh with what Friends is, which is the escape from reality, not necessarily the realistic drama that happens. So,
But going back to how this plot line ends with Monica looking pleased at her photo with Joey in the paper. Yes. I mean, first of all, Eric, do you know anyone who's had their picture in the paper?
No, I don't. I think that's part of me and this storyline is that it's not believable anymore.
Like, why?
Right. I am certain that people still do it. I guarantee you there are people that do it. I think putting your picture in the paper is now more equivalent to putting like wedding photos or engagement photos on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I know plenty of people who do that. I know, like, there are people that do engagement photos, which we did not do. I think this came really afterwards, but the idea that after you get engaged, then you go for like a photo shoot, and now you've got all these professional photos of your engagement, but not the actual engagement, just the fact that you're engaged.
Oh my God.
To me, it feels like an extra step, an extra cost in a scenario in which you're already spending a ton of money on a wedding, But
Yeah.
to
And then
each
it's
their
one
own.
of those things where everyone, I think, is like, oh, well, so-and-so did it. We need to do it too. And it's
That's
like this
what happens.
bandwagon effect. Yes.
That's what happens. It's the same
like-
as like baby reveal parties, like gender
Oh,
reveal
my.
parties.
Wow.
which-
and those have gotten out of control and dangerous.
They are something. And I mean, my kids are 13 and we did not have a gender reveal party.
No.
Like that wasn't a thing.
No.
And it wasn't long after that it became a thing, but now it's like you're shunned if you haven't done it,
Oh my
which
God,
I think is
really?
insane. I don't know. It feels that way.
Gosh. Well, who cares what people shun me? Shun me.
Well, I know
don't
you
care.
never, you don't, you're just going to go against society at all causes. But
Well, I just
Like-
think it's weird. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get like attached to all of these like details and think it's like I need to do something because other people are doing it. It's like actually that turns me off more. I'm like, now it's expected. Screw you. Not gonna do it. But anyway.
yeah, like, listen, I understand it. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be the one that does that thing. So, I think at some point in time, I think like the engagement pictures and the gender reveal is literally a social media construct.
Well,
It is-
all is
Like, because
all
if
is right.
social media didn't exist, no one would care about posting these videos to nobody.
Yeah.
Like what are you gonna, you're just gonna show them off? Everybody was there. We all know it.
Well, that's like how people even say, Valentine's Day is a construct of the gift card industry.
Well, it is.
like, hey.
It is.
Yeah.
Like a day to go out and like you can
It's
do that on
weird.
any day at all.
Yeah, you should
ever.
be doing it on other days, right? Yeah, not just Valentine's Day. Oh, but anyway.
Now we're going to jump into episode 6 of season 7. That is the one with the nap partners. And in this one, we have Joey and Ross accidentally taking a nap together. We have Rachel and Phoebe getting to decide who Monica's maid of honor will be with the judging from Ross and Joey. And we also have Chandler being forced by Monica to apologize to his ex-camp girlfriend, Julie Graff.
Oh, gosh.
These are some kind of wild storylines. Can I suggest that we start with Chandler and Monica and just get it out of the way here?
Let's just get it out of the way. Yeah, it is. Chandler has a couple. This moment
Okay.
for Chandler is not so great.
So this opening scene kind of loops in with the maid of honor dinner that the ladies are all at. But essentially this woman comes up to Monica and says, "Oh, I hear you're marrying Chandler Bing. Good luck."
Good luck.
And he then is being asked about it by Monica, flips through a photo album, finds the girl, and is like, "Oh yeah, that's Julie Graff. That's my ex-camp girlfriend. Like I ended up dumping her because when she came back to summer camp the next year, she had gotten kind of fat." And Monica does not like the idea that he broke up with someone because they were fat. So therefore they have to go track down Julie Graff and apologize, at which point you realize Julie didn't know that was the reason that they broke up. And really, this is all on Monica, who's concerned that, what happens if I get pregnant? I'm going to get fat. Are you going to break up with me then? And this is kind of the whole story here, which
like,
in all
guys.
honesty, when we look at the rest of the episode, I feel looks like hey, we left Chandler out. He's got nothing to do. Let's put him in this storyline. And I just really dislike this whole story.
Yeah, it's very weird. I mean, the idea of going back to tell someone that you went to camp with. I mean, these people are now 30 almost, and they're going to track down someone. First of all, the fact that they still had like this photo and an album, I think is funny to begin with.
Well, that's more telling of the times, but the idea that the album was accessible that quickly is crazy.
Like tucked away in some storage compartment. It was like right there. And,
no, I am certain somewhere I have pictures of friends from a camp or from like youth group in church or from whatever in a shoebox somewhere in my basement. The idea that I could just access it in my living room and be like, here it is, boom. No.
Right.
0% chance.
Yeah. And I love when Chandler's kind of asking, so did she say like good luck or like good luck? Or it's like, they're trying to determine. No, it was more like good luck. And he's saying, well, you know awful. What they say, elephants never forget. Seriously, good luck marrying me.
That was funny.
That was
double down on it, man. Double down. You're gonna own it.
Dude, Chandler, you are just this is not good. Yeah, good luck marrying you. I guess going back to my earlier statement about Chandler being the best option of the group, maybe good luck. I don't know.
Listen,
he's gonna be a little bit rocky here. But he recognized it immediately that it's like you don't, dude, your humor here, this is not working. This is the joke you keep on the inside. You're saying the quiet part out loud.
He was saying the quiet part out loud. That being said, this is all Monica. This is Monica's whole thing. Like, what? Monica is forcing it because she used to be fat, and she's super concerned about it. And then she's gonna want to have kids. And then what happens if she gets pregnant? And blah blah blah. All this stuff. And I just think to myself, like, I don't think Chandler is that shallow. You know, maybe he was when he was 12.
Yeah, but they do have the whole, like, before he got together with Monica, he did kind of have the George from Seinfeld effect.
Oh yeah,
break up with people over like tiny like qualities that weren't.
That was before. That was before Monica's How to Be a Boyfriend tutoring classes that he took. Essentially,
I know, but
where
I
was like, oh, we just had a fight. That's just a fight. It's okay. We're not broken up yet. And he's like, oh, really? Okay.
But I guess I could understand a little bit of her insecurity there for that reason. But you're right. It's more about her own stuff than anything that Chandler has shown her, right? Like, you should be basing your experience off of what someone shows you. And this is more like her own stuff there. And the idea of then going back to this woman's house, oh my God. And that she didn't know.
Okay.
And now she does know. I'm like, oh God.
This is the thing to me. Okay. This is a conversation that Chandler and Monica can have and call it a day. There is no reason to go track down Julie and have a apology face to face. In no scenario am I going to find out information about my wife and say, hey, you dumped some guy from forever ago in a negative way. Let's go meet up face to face so you can properly apologize. 0% chance. I'm fairly confident that she feels the same way. So that just is a negative scenario. There's no good that comes of that ever.
No, not at all. Like, no one is ever going to say, oh, thank you so much for that. Like, even if she had known that that's what happened, his apology all these years later, dude, no, you're just bringing it up again. Like, I don't want to be thinking about that. This is bad.
Now,
although obviously that she was still thinking about it.
I was going to say, as far as Julie is concerned, she must be... the fact that she approached Monica and gave that sort of response is kind of wild.
It is wild.
I mean, you haven't seen this guy since he was 12 or 13, younger. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
There's no one in my past life that if I heard, oh, you're marrying so-and-so, I'd be like, oh, awful. Horrible choice. No way would I do that. Even if I didn't like the person back then, I'm not saying that.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Maybe if I was the woman that Joey threw the leg into the fire. I don't know. And if I heard Joey Tribbiani, I don't know. I might approach that lady. Just be like, good luck. I could see that. Just throwing that out there.
Make sure you have both your legs attached and you'll be
Oh
okay.
my
I
God.
guess. I don't know. There are some circumstances, I suppose, but
Nothing nothing that's happened in my life.
nothing
Okay.
nothing personally that's happened to me.
We might be going down a rabbit hole there with me, so I'm not going to overthink that. I might have a few, but okay, let's move on. Let's go to what do we have here? Rachel and Phoebe with the maid of honor.
Yes. So Monica at this dinner is basically saying to them, hey, listen, why don't we just rotate maid of honor and we'll figure it out. And that way we can each be at once for everybody. That way we all get to be maid of honor at everybody's wedding. Seems like a good deal. So she's going to say, well, guess what? Here's the best part. I don't care who it is. You two figure it out. And Rachel and Phoebe are then tasked with figuring out who the maid of honor is, at which point they recruit Joey and Ross to be judges for their maid of honor performances, which was a mistake. Ultimately, Phoebe wins this, and she wins a coin toss, which proves the coins have forgiven her. And this all wraps up with a moment at Central Perk where Phoebe ultimately decides that Rachel obviously cares about this more and has been planning for this for a very long time and decides to let Rachel do it despite winning all of the contests coming up to this point.
You laugh now. She's going to be yours.
That's right. So Monica will now be lined up with Phoebe, and we know how that goes down the line. It's not pretty.
Man. Yeah, and I love the end of this episode because Phoebe is sort of, looking at Rachel as she's initially excited to be Monica's maid of honor, but then when Monica goes full on into intense mode, it's like she's kind of snickering off in the background. And Eric, do you think that Phoebe sort of thought about that behind the scenes? And was
so
like, hey.
The way she reacts to that, I always wonder if there was like a deleted scene that I've never seen where it feels like Phoebe had told Monica that she was going to be maid of honor and then realized what she had stepped into. And so she gave it up real quick. And that way she didn't have to deal with great, we're going to meet 4 times a week and we'll have these scheduled things and this is going to happen.
So excited.
I'm so excited. Yeah, all that. Nah, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know if there was a scene there. I don't think there was, but it certainly looks like they could have left that gray area open.
Yeah.
That being said, it makes so much more sense for it to be Rachel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she had been planning on this, it seems, for some time. I mean, their friendship just goes further back. Although, as we've kind of discussed in other episodes, they were like best friends and then they like didn't know each other for a weird period of time and now they're best friends again. It was a little bit weird.
The timeline is confusing because we get a lot of like Monica and Rachel going to college parties with Ross and Chandler, even though they're still in high school. But we get them all the way through high school. Mm-hmm. Best friends ever, can't be separated, right? And then early to mid-20s, not invited to wedding at all.
Well, and she even says she has her garter that she saved for Monica. And I'm like, you didn't invite her to your wedding, girl. Like, this is weird.
Well, I mean, it's plausible that she just saved some of these things and then realized, like, hey, I have this. Like, this would be
Monica.
a great thing for Monica to have as, like, something borrowed.
Yeah.
And it's blue.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think she was planning on it at her wedding. But it's possible, I guess. So, I don't know.
Going back to the beginning of this episode, though, I do enjoy Monica's move of making them choose. I think that's great. Hey.
Awesome move.
Yeah. Yes.
But
like, hey, figure it out.
The best part of this is watching Ross and Joey judge.
Oh my God.
Because they have, what is it? They have essentially them do little scenes like Ross acts like a drunk uncle and Phoebe straight up tackles him. And they're like, perfect score. And I forget what they had Rachel do. Rachel had to do something right before that. But then they each give the maid of honor speeches. They're like, go. And Rachel is like, well, Webster's dictionary, and they start writing like poor scores down immediately. And she's like, no, that's bad. Hold on. And then she gives an incredible, very heartfelt, wonderful speech to which Ross says, wow, well, I guess Phoebe, you can go next, even though it doesn't really matter. And then Phoebe says something to the effect of, I always have dreamed of watching my friends Monica and Chandler get married together. I was talking with Rachel about this while we were showering together, naked.
Yeah.
And Joey's like, and she's back in the game.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Look at your audience here. Right. Oh,
and so when it's all said and done, Phoebe wins the judging. And Rachel asks for a recount, to which Ross is like, well, it wasn't really that close. Like, sorry.
The energy here kind of reminded me of the trivia episode a little bit, where Ross is calling out the questions, and they're, Rachel's jumping in really quick with her response. But it was a funny moment for sure. And then we have the recount where Phoebe, Rachel does the coin flip, and Phoebe has the line, "The coins have finally forgiven me."
Yes. And then we have the moment at Central Park where they're going through all the things, which is nice.
Right. Yeah.
But we also have Joey and Ross and Chandler watching Die Hard at the very beginning of this show. And they decide they're going to watch it a second time because they rented Die Hard twice, apparently. They forgot to rent Die Hard 2. They only rented Die Hard 1 2 times.
And when I first saw the opening of this episode, I did a quick look up because I'm like, oh, is this a Christmas episode? Because I don't know, Eric, in my household, Die Hard, Christmas movie. So, just saying.
Yeah, I will say this. I know people have a very strong opinion on whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And I heard this argument once, and I said, you know what? It doesn't align flawlessly, but I think it's pretty good. And that is that if you're going to say that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, then you have to say that Home Alone is not a Christmas movie. Wow. Because Die Hard is just a movie set at Christmas time. And that's the argument, that there's nothing about the plot that is Christmassy. And Home Alone, for the most part, there's not a lot about the plot that is Christmas-y.
The church choir scene, the Christmas music. Yeah.
That's the one. The one where Kevin McAllister goes to the church and talks to the shovel guy.
Yes.
And he's watching his, granddaughter, I guess, in the choir. That's the most Christmassy scene you get. Otherwise, Kevin McAllister is just running about New York all on his own, or not New York, running about Chicago,
but he has
getting groceries and whatnot.
The house is decorated. They have the tree up. He sets the ordinance
but that's all in Die Hard. They got lights and trees up in Die Hard.
I agree. No, I'm fully on board
so
with
it's
this. Die Hard actually is kind of similar to Home Alone in the whole plot line. It's just the adult version. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So it is still now in the second Home Alone, they do the Christmas present opening at the end.
Yes.
And there are a little bit more Christmassy moments connected. They are going away on a Christmas vacation, but that is barely seen. That's not really anything that Kevin has to do.
And the family in the first one is leaving on Christmas. That's why they're traveling.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They travel.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. And so the plot of the movie is not about the travel. It's about all this. I do think there's a good enough argument to be made that if you're going to count one, you got to count the other. And if you're not going to count one, then you can't count the other one. Ooh. And I think that's where people get kind of caught up in this.
I'm all about watching those movies at any time of the year. So,
yes,
there's
both
never a wrong time. Yes. So, hey, Christmas movie, not Christmas movie. They're just classic, great films. So
good movies.
Yeah.
So anyway, Joey and Ross accidentally fall asleep together during the second viewing, and they wake up and decide never to speak of this again, only for Joey then to corner Ross after the judging and say, listen, we got to talk about this. I want to do it again. It was the best nap I ever had. And essentially, Joey tries to get Ross to take a nap the rest of the time, except Ross continues to turn him down until he gets to Central Perk after all of the Maid of Honor stuff has been decided. And then as the culminating scene, they've taken this nap a second time, and the rest of the gang find them laying on the couch together.
I love this. It's such a minor part of this episode, but honestly, it's my favorite plot line of this episode. It's so funny when they wake up the first time and Ross is like, oh no, Joey says, talk to you later. And Ross is like, but not about this. No, never about this.
Never.
So they're
never
all
about this.
Like, but then later on, Ross does admit, all right, it was the best nap ever, but it's over, Joey. I want to do it again, but we can't. Why not? Because it's weird.
Because it's weird. That's the only reason. Like, I love, though, Joey being the one to try and convince Ross, like, nah, listen, you want something to drink? What do you got? Yeah, warm milk, some Excedrin PM.
Oh my God. Joey's trying to lure him back.
He's trying to lure him in. And that's why,
funny.
like, in this whole thing, my favorite part of this whole thing is at Central Perk. When Joey is sitting on the couch, is like, well, all this judging really took it out of me. And Ross is just looking at him. He's like, so I'm going to head upstairs. Just go lay down on the couch for a little while. And Ross is like, why would I want to know that?
Why would I care? Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just letting you know where I'm going to be. And just grabs his coat and walks out the door. And Ross's reaction to this is amazing, where he does this little reaction like, pff, and just kind of looks off to the side, and then immediately doubles back and grabs his jacket and walks out in this very, like, closed off way to the door.
Yes.
It is the funniest thing. It's the way he's exiting. It's how he, like, shook it off and then doubled back on it.
He, like, rolls off the couch.
Oh my gosh, the way he does it is so good. It is the funniest part of this episode to me. Which then is doubled up on when the friends find them. Yes. And they're, like, waking up from their nap, and Joey's like, what are you doing? And he just jumps off the couch and runs to his room, and Ross just slowly gets off the couch, is like, excuse me. And just walks past his friends. Like, no response needed. Just walks out the door. Unbelievable.
Right, because when
from David Schwimmer.
That's so funny, because in that final scene too, like, their friends, I think they had been standing over watching them for some time, because they woke up and they're like, oh, wow, that was a great one. So it's like, obviously when they woke up, they could tell this wasn't just a one-time thing. This wasn't an accident. Like, they planned on this nap, and it was so funny because, then Joey's outraged, dude. You're too late. They saw
it's already been done. The die is cast at this point. It's over.
Just accept it, guys. Just cuddle up. It's fine. And then, but yeah, it's great. Chandler's face. All of their faces were really funny seeing this moment. But so yeah, love it. Love it.
You know what though? Like, it's funny because this whole thing to me, I almost wish at one point in time they went back to it. Like, they came in like from another scene in another episode, and we just kind of, like, opened the scene on Joey and Ross napping together. I think that would have been the funniest thing.
Yeah, just casually in a later season even. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still taking naps.
2 seasons later, like, just like have one moment where they're just, like, jumping off the couch Like, you don't even have to show them napping together. Like, it would have been funny.
Yes, I agree.
All right, well, now we're going to jump into our IMDb rating segment of the podcast where we talk about our ratings versus your ratings as we find them on IMDb, not to mention our favorite and least favorite characters. Amanda, I'm going to jump in here first. Okay. And I'm just going to be very clear about this because he is often my favorite, but Chandler is easily my least favorite character in this. The Julie Graff story, not great. The not being able to smile, I don't know if that's better or worse. Neither one of these Chandler storylines were good.
Yeah.
So he is hands down my least favorite character. I mean, no one else is close.
Yeah, I had a feeling that, I guess I hate to pile on, but I had a feeling that yours was going to be Chandler as well. And because I picked him too. For the same points, it's like the smiling plotline, not so great. And then the apologizing to the ex-girlfriend, it just kind of, I don't know, not the best Chandler plot lines at all. They just felt like they were forced. I don't know. So
when it comes to favorite when it comes to favorites, I've got a few. I know who I'm going with, but I was down to two, and but you go ahead. You go first. Okay. Here.
Yeah. So with favorite, I was thinking either Ross or Phoebe, and I went with Ross. Okay. So, yes. So
that's not the two that I had either. That's funny.
So I just love the napping bit that we just talked about. And I loved just he and Phoebe, the back and forth with Whitney and Hums Wally Peas. I keep forgetting. Oh, Kyle. It was just so funny just how outraged he was in that episode and how invested he got in their relationship. I just love those moments from Ross. So and like even the pure physical comedy that we had that you mentioned in the last episode where he slings off the couch and he's just David Schwimmer is hilarious to me. I love him. So yeah, went with him. I also did like the Phoebe bits with Kyle and Whitney as well. So I really enjoyed her in these episodes too. And also when she was competing with Rachel and the back and forth with the bridesmaid thing, I just really appreciated that as well. So, or not the bridesmaid, the maid of honor. I really liked her too, but I feel like Ross won it over for me. How about you?
Well, I was down to Ross and Joey. I really liked the napping sequence. I thought both of them crushed it in that. I guess I'd give Ross a slight edge because of some of the things I mentioned. I feel like I also really liked the judging that they both did. And so they're doing this again together. And then when you go to the previous episode, Joey is a big part of the kind of conversation with Rachel, with Chandler being invisible. And Ross is doing all of this with Phoebe and Kyle and Whitney, and therefore I'm going to give the edge also to Ross. I really like that scene on the couch with him and Phoebe yelling at each other. I could see why you would pick Phoebe as well, but I have Joey right there with him, but I'm going to go with Ross. So yeah, we got the same people. How about that?
The same picks. All right.
We don't do that often, but we did do it not too long ago. It was like 4 episodes ago. We both had Chandler and Phoebe. So here we are.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And so I will say though, when it comes to ratings, I have these pretty far apart by my standards.
Okay.
Do you have one that stands out of the two?
So I did prefer the nap partners. That episode more than the engagement picture. I just felt like
totally agree.
Yeah, the engagement I liked both of these episodes. Neither one of them were like, wow, this was like last week. I feel like I didn't enjoy those episodes quite as much. These were both like fairly close for me, just a few notches away, a few ticks. So, but But yeah, the Rachel tag portion of the engagement picture episode and the engagement picture, that portion of that episode alone too just wasn't that great. Even though I loved the Phoebe and Ross with the married couple, that part was hilarious. But to me, that was really the standalone portion of the episode, and it really wasn't the main plot line. So, the one with the one with the nap partners, I gave an 8.5. And
interesting.
And the one with the engagement picture, I gave an 8.3.
Okay.
So, yeah, I feel like the one with the nap partner is solid 8.5 because even though we had the Monica and Chandler with his ex, I mean, that part really didn't take up a whole lot of that episode anyway. It was just sort of
it did. Thankfully, it was not much.
It was really the maid of honor part, which that part of the episode was really funny, and the nap part was funny.
Yeah, and you largely got all four of them together. Even Monica, in moments, was part of this, so it was really 5 of them. Chandler was just kind of left with Julie, which is weird. I'm just going to I'll go the opposite direction here. I also have the nap partners higher, but the engagement picture, right? The previous episode I'd given a 7.9 to, and I'm going to give the engagement picture a 7.9 as well. I really dislike it. I will say the scene with even everything that happens with Ross, Phoebe, Kyle, and Whitney, it is just the scene on the couch where not even the breakup, but the one where Ross and Phoebe are there alone, yelling at each other about the problems of the other two people. That to me is the funniest part of that episode. It's probably the only thing that I consistently laugh at outside of the Joey, Rachel, Chandler moment in the apartment.
Right.
And so I thought about going up to an 8 because of that. But I think I'm going to stick with a 7.9 because most of the tag storyline is in the office. And I really dislike Rachel in the office right now. Like the way she does all these things with tag there, it's just so negative. And then you have, again, all this time taken up with the engagement picture, which is so weird. It's just so I'm going to stick with a 7.9. I could have given it an 8, but I'm going to go with a 7.9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that almost gets it to an 8, but it's not.
But it's not quite down to like Monana standards with the 7.6. So you're above that.
No, that one, and we actually, I'm going back looking real quick. What was it? The one with mac and cheese. That was like a replay episode. We gave that one. Like all the replay episodes we've killed.
Well, I like the one before that a bit more than you did, I recall. But the other one that sticks out in my mind that I did not like is when Ross was the cookie dude. I do not like that episode. I don't know.
Well, yeah, there were a couple in there. But anyway,
yes.
The nap partners, I actually had to go back. I had to go back and look. So we just did the one with Rachel's book not that long ago. I gave that an 8.4. I gave Monica's Thunder an 8.6. I gave Ross Meets Elizabeth's Dad an 8.6. Where Ross Dates a Student was an 8.6. Unagi was an 8.5. So because of that, I'm going to put it right kind of in that line. I'm going to give the nap partners an 8.5, which is what you did. And I'm just going to say, listen, this is a great episode and I would watch it anytime. I'm not going to get it into the upper 8s just because of the whole Julie Graff storyline.
Yeah.
If that had not been there, if they had found a way to weave Chandler into the judging or something like that, it would have been even better. But they didn't. They jammed him into this other weird thing. So
I'm looking back at our scores, Eric, though, before we get on to IMDb, and I feel like I don't know if I was just having a bad day during the Unagi episode, but I gave that one an 8.1. I don't know.
You did.
Like that.
You did. I remember that. Well, here's the thing. We all know Unagi and we know the like catchphrasing and the saying, but like the rest of that episode was like mid at best.
Yeah, that's
which
what I
is why
struggled with
I
that.
just kind of
Yeah.
capped it at an 8.5, but the fans gave it an 8.9.
Love that one. That's what I was looking at the IMDb. Like, wow, that was.
They
wow.
love that one. Okay, so today, the engagement picture, I gave it a 7.9. You gave it an 8.3. IMDb is going to give it a 7.9. So they're right with me on that
Wow.
one. You are
Okay.
a touch high, but not that high.
Yeah, 7.9.
And then-
okay, yeah.
We both gave the Nap Partners an 8.5, and IMDb, if you can believe this, they are an 8.7. They are way high.
Wow. Okay.
And you know what?
Okay.
I don't hate it.
No,
I don't hate it.
that. Nope.
Well, these times when we get like 4 or 5 of them together doing
Yeah.
things where we get the judging and all that, and the nap is just kind of like woven in through the whole thing. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's that high. Maybe I'm just giving Julie Graff too much credit for dragging it down. It's not her. It's not really her. It's Monica.
Yeah.
I blame Monica for this.
Well.
Thanks so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Please check out our socials on Instagram and YouTube and all the other social media platforms out there. If you could subscribe to our channels or follow us, hit the like button, share, repost, do all the fun things that you do on social media. We would really appreciate it. Feel free to drop a comment. We will always respond to you. Also, check us out on Spotify, where we get full episodes. Check us out on Apple Podcasts. If you can leave 5 stars on Spotify, I know you can, because people have done it. Go ahead and do that there. You can also check out our full episodes on WeRunOnReruns.com. And for Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching episodes 7 and 8 of season 7. That's the one with Ross's library book, and the one where Chandler doesn't like dogs for next week. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you later, guys.